Hey, hello everyone. Ed from New Haven, Connecticut here. Hope everybody is doing well. It is a new year, so another contest is upon us, and that is MGK Boston's MGK Boston / Buffalo's trillion subscriber contest. So pretty doable. He's got a lot of subscribers already, but apparently it's not enough for Mr. MGK Boston / Buffalo. He needs more. So a trillion it is. So I'm happy to partake and participate in this contest. So for those of you not familiar with Mr. Mike over at MGK Boston, most folks are. I know it's a contest and it may be a random drawing, it may be a best video thing, but either way, I'm doing what I got to do to try and win this contest. So with that, my little vinyl wall behind me will give you a little overview of Mike's musical tastes. We've got some new wave there with some Romeo Void. We've got some ska there with the specials, some boogie woogie rock and roll with Humble Pie and Smokin', some jazz, of course, Cal Jader, fantastic Cal Jader Quartet. The one and only Miss Tammy Wynette, bit of a glare there, but Tammy Wynette, beautiful country stuff. We love our country. I know Mike does, so do I. And lastly, behind my fat head is Rockabilly with the Blasters. So a snapshot of Mike's musical taste. So Mike, if that gets me some points for the contest, I'm all in. All right, so let's get started. So Mike had some questions for us to respond to, so we're off. So the first question I got is, for vacation-wise, where do you like to go and where do you want to go? Well, like to go is really easy for me. I've been going there since I was a kid with my family. When my dad threw us all in the 75 Chevy Malibu, we were off to the Cape. So Cape Cod, every year for me still, every June, Wellfleet, North Truro, Provincetown area. A lot of memories for me up there. Go up there every June with a friend of mine, and we just have a great time, and I love vacationing up there every year. Where do I want to go? Where I've been thinking about going? That's actually a pretty easy question for me this year because I'm doing it. In September, I'm going to Greece. Fly direct into Athens, cruise ship, cruise by night, wake up every day on a different Greek island. So that is September of this year, and I can't wait. That's going to be fantastic. It's going to be a beautiful trip going to Greece. I can't wait. All right. So next up, Mike has, name a solo artist that everybody seems to like or does like, but you don't really care for or possibly hate. And hate's a strong word. So I don't know if everybody likes this artist, but certainly enough people do to have him sell millions of records. And he's got a big fan base out there, but I just find his music just really just dull and boring. And that is Jack Johnson. And if you don't know who Jack Johnson is, there's a photo of him right there. I put a photo of him up. And here's one of his album covers that's pretty recognizable. You know, it's just boring, dull, acoustic stuff. He's got that one song, Banana Pancakes, right? He's made like the same version of that over and over again. I think his new album is like Banana Pancakes version 127 or something. Just dull, boring, does not hold my attention at all. That stuff comes on the radio, his stuff, his music, and you know, my teeth just fall asleep. That's how boring it is. So no Jack Johnson for me, not a fan. But what do I know? I haven't sold millions of records and have not laughing to the bank every day, but he is, so good for him. All right, so the next up is name a band that people really like that I can't stand. That's actually pretty easy for me. So look, I grew up on 70s rock, FM rock, all that classic 70s stuff is hard rock is just embedded into my DNA. But there's just one band that I just can't stand, and every time they come on the radio, I immediately change it, and I don't own anything by them, I don't want anything by them, and I just can't listen to it. So rather than me elaborate a little bit more and tell you who it is, I found somebody who actually can put it pretty succinctly. So Homer, take it away.
Which way to Ithaca?
It's not so easy. You must go through Hades, crossing the river Styx.
Oh yeah, it sticks. Awful. Awful. People love all that crap. The Grand Illusion and what other albums? Pieces of Eight and Cornerstone and Paradise Theater. So isn't that some concept album about some rundown? I don't know what it is. And God, the awful Kill Where Was Here, which is just even worse. So look, if you love it, that's great. But Styx, not in my house, not a fan. So you know what? Knock yourself out with that. All right, so let's get on to, now that unpleasant is behind us, let's move on to some other stuff. So show a jazz album. That's really easy for me. I'm also a big jazz fan as well as Mike. And so this is Art Blakey and the Messengers with Just Coolin' from 1959. I have a bunch of these Blue Note reissues of Art Blakey. Really phenomenal stuff. You've got Hank Mobley on here, Bobby Timmons, Jimmy Merritt, and of course Art Blakey on the drums. Excellent session, killer music, especially the title cut. You can't go wrong with good old Blue Note and Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Excellent. Next question he has is show a country and western album. Country and western, that's such an old school term. But since it's an old school term, I'm showing an old school country and western album. And that is Mr. Merle Haggard and the Strangers with Branded Man. So I loved a lot of these 60s country releases, right? Look at that. It's a great picture of Mo right there. All these records are about prison. Every song on here is about how my life is leading me to prison. Now that I'm in prison, how my life is going, and what's my life going to be like when I'm out of prison, i.e. living life as a branded man. That's all the songs on here. This is a pretty grim, dark record, I must say, but it's a classic and fantastic stuff. And my favorite track on here is the last one on side 2 called I Made the Prison Band. So Merle, Haggard and the Strangers, Branded Man, all about prison, classic country and western stuff. All right, what do we got? So next up is favorite sports team or athlete. So look, I'm going to tell you right now, I got no horse in the race when it comes to sports. Doesn't interest me, I don't care. But I'm a big, volunteer guy. I give back to my community. So what I did a little bit of research on some famous sports athletes and who give back to their community and are very big on the philanthropic side. So we've got Billie Jean King and Megan Rapinoe, right? All about gender equality and equal pay for women's rights in sports. Billie Jean King founded the Women's Sports Foundation in 1974. Megan Rapinoe, along with other players, she was a part of Juan Mata's program called Common Goal, right? Where every 1% of their wages go to soccer-related charities. I didn't know who the biggest philanthropic athlete was until I looked it up, and that was Cristiano Ronaldo. Had no idea. UNICEF, Save the Children, World Vision, Lindsey Vonn Foundation, all about, with young girls, getting them to feel good about themselves and get them to be athletic and feel confident. LeBron James, of course, all about giving back to his community with education in schools for undeserving communities, unrepresented communities. And lastly, of course, John Cena, who's got something like, 1,000 Make-A-Wish requests. He's the most requested athlete for Make-A-Wish. And to my knowledge, he's hit every one of them and said no to none of them. So fantastic stuff right there from athletes who get paid a lot of money, but make sure that they give back. All right, so the next question Mike had was show a concert memory. So I have a lot of concert memories, a lot that are just way up there, fantastic concerts. But in order to help me kind of talk about some of them, get a little synopsis of the shows I've seen over the past decades really quickly, I'm grabbing my one of my many boards I have here with all of my ticket stubs. Remember ticket stubs back in the day? They don't do that anymore. I really miss that. But on here really quickly, just some great concert memories. The oldest one I have on here is from November of 1999 at Madison Square Garden, a ticket to see the Eurythmics. They actually did only 2 shows that year, one at the Garden and one in LA, and that was for Amnesty and Greenpeace. Unbelievable, great show, of course. I've got tickets on here for when I've seen Marianne Faithfull, for when I've seen Bob Dylan and his band, Springsteen, of course, in the E Street Band, G Love and Special Sauce, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings, Rod Stewart and Stevie Nicks. I love Stevie Nicks. Sorry, Brian, I know you're not a fan, but I'm a big fan of Stevie Nicks. Barry Manilow is on here as well. Seen Barry Manilow? Of course, it's Barry Manilow. You got to see him. David Byrne and St. Vincent. See David Byrne many, many times. Toad's Place here in Connecticut, a landmark venue for a lot of classic shows. I've seen Iggy Pop there, Ricky Lee Jones, and Mission of Burma. And pretty much the coup de grace on this ticket board right here that I have is a ticket from when I went to go see Mr. Leonard Cohen back in April of 2023. Outstanding. So some great concert memories. I have all this stuff up here. I have a few of these hanging around the house. Great stuff. All right, what do we have next? Shout out to a new channel. So I'm going to shout out Dave over at M Fidelity. Dave is just starting out. A lot of the same music, a lot of overlap. He's responded to some of my threads and given me some great comments as well. So folks are starting to get to know Dave. Really great stuff, really good content. So that is M Fidelity Dave. I will put a link to his channel down below. So if you're not aware of him, you can go subscribe and take a look. Down to our last 2 questions we have here. Show album by a Canadian artist. So I'm going to do a twofer here, Canadian and some country, and that is the wonderful Katie Lang with Shadowland with the Owen Bradley Sessions, right? This is her second LP. Katie Lang doesn't do this type of music anymore. I'm a big fan of her early country stuff that she did solo here with Owen and the Reclines. Just great stuff, just fun, silly, cowpunk, country stuff. Just really, really great records, a lot of fun. This is a beautiful record right here. There's Katie Lang and Owen Bradley on the back. covers on here. Western Stars, the opening track written by Chris Isaac. She does Black Coffee on here. Busy Bee in Blue, I'm Down to My Last Cigarette. Excellent Katie Lang, Canadian artist, country, Owen Bradley, purveyor of that Nashville sound. Fantastic. All right. And then what do we have here for the last one? A show and album that was released in the year of your birth. So I was born in March of 1967. No shortage of classic albums came out in 1967. Some of them I have, some of them I don't. But I'm going to show, once again, a band that I'm a big fan of and always have. It reminds me of my youth and raided my sister's record collection, and that is the Young Rascals. So this is Groovin' from 1967. Silly cover aside, this is a phenomenal LP. Their third LP, of course, Inglorious Mono, fantastic. This has major hits on this. How Can I Be Sure? The title track, A Girl Like You, a great record. You've got Arif Martin doing some arrangements on here. You've got Hubert Laws, the jazz flautist, I can never pronounce that right, on the last track on here called It's Love, which is great. So the Rascals came out in February 67, 1 month before I was born. Groovin' right here, big seller for them, great stuff. I love the Young Rascals, excellent. All right, so I think that's it. Hits all the questions. So Mike, hope that gets me a solid entry into your contest. And just to sweeten it a little bit more, I'm going to throw on a little live jazz clip that I posted last summer when I went into the city. Arthur's Tavern, a couple of highlights, some live jazz to send this out on. So Mike, great channel, having a blast, and good luck with those 1 trillion subscribers, man. Until next time, I'll see you again.